What's up, Dice fans? It's Ross from the Weekly Dice Arena, and have we got something special for you guys today? Wizkids was kind enough to send us a preview copy of the WWE campaign box and team packs. I'm going to unbox this thing. We're going to roll through it, probably one of them at a time, so probably 3 videos going up here. And I'm even feeling a little My voice sounds a little but frankly, I could not wait to get into these. So let's just dig in and see what's up. I have not even opened this yet. I just took the plastic off. Let's see what we got. First, I just want to note the box art. Randy Savage, getting savage. I haven't watched wrestling in a long while. I need to get brushed up on my wrestling stuff. But I'm so excited. We've seen some of these cards spoiled through various medias and such. But it's time, folks. It is time. Let's lift off the box, see what's inside. As per usual, Wizkids has stacked us with a new rule book. Look at that. John Cena on the front, getting wild. Nice color rule book there. They do have the paper playmats, which I actually really love these playmats. I wish they were about 4 quadrants worth of this, like a full page worth. But really, these get the job done if you're just learning to play the game. It has all the zones you need to know. It even has the arrows to show you where you're going. So I definitely recommend these for beginners and veterans alike. So we're going to remove that. We do have the, which is kind of funny, they still have the collector's, what is this, checklist. It has the team packs on both of these as if you were only going to have half of them somehow. If you buy the team packs, the Bitter Rivals and the Tag Team packs, Stone Cold, how are you, man? It's been so long. It's been so long. I love this. Freaking hype for new IPs. But again, you get the team packs separately, and then you can check them off on this list to show that you've got it all. We get to this clear doodad here. Keeps all your dice in line when you're traveling to the store or whatever else. And then we have some dice. We've got some sidekicks. We've got some cards. And a little bird told me, over at Gaming with Sidekicks, they spoiled that the bags are actually... So every campaign box or starter kit has come with some sort of dice bags. These ones, though, are totally new material. They're not like the cardboardy paper bags that they've had in the past. These are much more like... how would I describe this? It's like a plasticky, thin plastic, I'll say. Thin plasticky. That's the words I'm going to use, thin plasticky. The bag art, obviously pretty sick. There's the first side. The back side, WWE World Wrestling Entertainment. Dice Masters, pretty sick. The other bag looking like this. Little Mankind. A little, who's this? Nope, thought I knew. I was going to take a guess, but then I'd take so much hate, probably. It's not. I was going to say, maybe it is Bret Michaels. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. I'm going to touch up on these things, I swear. But the bag's looking hecka clean out there. Look at these things. You sort of get all the way in there. Even with somebody with some medium-sized hands. I'd call myself medium-sized hands. Fits nicely. So, upgrade on the bags. I like that, Wizkids. You're killing it. Let's get into the dice. Big hype about the dice for this box was that recently, sorry about the that. Recently, team boxes have been coming with a variable number of dice per character. We have known from the Wizkids solicits page that this is going to be 3 dice per character. I am going to count these out just to make sure I got all the ones I'm supposed to have, and no more, no less. But it is really exciting to have 3 dice per character, which means generally if this is the only Dice Masters product you have, and you're going to make 2 teams out of just these characters, even without the team packs, you definitely still have enough dice to do that. Even if both players wanted to play the same character with a different card, 3 dice will get you there. Pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. So we're going to lay some of these out. Just the iconography looks nice. The character icons, are unique, which is really cool. Recently, we've seen a lot of reused iconography, but I don't know if you can see this one. I know there was some... Nope, the camera does not love being that close. However, you know, we've seen Becky Lynch be spoiled already in various avenues and places, such as the World Championship. You guys can go watch that coverage on DM Armada's channel. He's got all of the past Worlds coverage where we did some of these spoilers way back in August or so. I was going to count all these out, but I think it's generally just going to take longer than it's worth. Let's get into the meat of the content. Let's crack open the cards here. Always keep a knife with you when you're playing Dice Masters. No, really don't do that. But I have one with me, thank goodness. Otherwise, this could take me somewhere between a little and a lot of bit of time. Let's get into it. Character abilities. Let's move this. Let's move that. Let's get to it. The first character we're going to talk about is Mr. AJ Styles. He's a Bolt character. Oh, sorry, AJ Styles. You can see it here. AJ Styles, Bolt character. He has 2 4-cost and a 5-cost, which is interesting. Maybe we'll put everybody else down here for now. The first 4-cost, while he's active, whenever you field a non-AJ Styles superstar die, each of your active AJ Styles gets +1/+1. Pretty rad. His stats are already 4/6, which is pretty beefy. I think a general trend we're going to see with this set is that the stats... I got to find my spot on this camera. The stats per cost is generally on the up and up. We've had some sets in the past where stats per cost has been pretty weak. I think they were going for the opposite in this set. They're going to make the value that you pay per die pretty high in terms of stats. Because, again, WWE, combat, hand-to-hand, grappling, throw people, suplex, get wild. So, AJ Styles starting it off. We're going to get to his second card here. It says, whenever an AJ Styles superstar die damages your opponent, prep a die. We've seen this ability before. Not generally my favorite, but with stats like this, again, he's going to be sticking around, going to be really hammering down the door of the opponent. I can't see him going unblocked or anything crazy like that, but you never know. It's going to be cool. It's going to be wild. Here we go. The 5-cost. Let's see if it's worth the extra cost. While you have less life than your opponent, each of your active AJ Styles gets +3 attack. +3 attack. +3 attack, and he already has a base attack of 2, 3, 4. So he's a 5, 6, 7 if you have less health than your opponent, which is something you generally can control, right? Talking about things in Dice Masters that you can control and things that you can't. Your life total, in some ways, is something that you can control. You could have this this card trigger or not, depending on some of the other cards on your team. So it's kind of dependent on other things on your team, but pretty rad. AJ Styles, not blowing me away currently, but definitely playable, you know? That's what we're going for here. Let's do Asuka next. Again, I apologize to my wrestling compadres out there who know I'm going to butcher at least one of these names during the videos. I apologize. Put it in the comments below. Rip me a new one in Discord. Whatever it is. Find me and tell me. Asuka, no one is ready. Asuka, a mask character. She has three cost cards here. The first one, it says, let's see if we can get the camera to focus. Hello. Getting a little washed out. It says, anyway, intimidate. So the intimidate word is a commodity these days with some actions from the previous Waterdeep set. Intimidate, when fielded, target opposing sidekick die gets +1. When fielded, target opposing sidekick die gets +1. Attack. I don't get it, but someone's going to figure this out, and they're going to let me know. Someone's going to figure this out. It's going to be awesome. It's not going to be me, I don't think. Definitely not the first thing I'm going to be picking up. Second Asuka card. When fielded, name a non-sidekick superstar die and draw a die from your bag. If you draw the named die, fielded at level 3. Otherwise, add it to your use pile. When fielded effects are generally pretty strong. You can repeat them fairly easily. I will say that with a 4 defense, it's going to be hard to get Asuka out of the field in terms of just attacking with her. There are ways to KO your characters, get them back in the prep, and cycle them that way. But this when fielded, I don't know that I'm going to be building around unless I have a really good way of knowing that there's only one die in my bag and I know exactly what it is. That's when this card is going to be bonkers, sort of in a, a very controlled environment. Somebody could make this into something wicked. The other 3 cost, here we are. While Asuka is active, your mask superstars cost 2 less to purchase. Pause. If that was all the card said, it would already be worth it. She's a 3 cost with reasonable stats and makes all of your mask characters 2 less to purchase. Bruh. Whenever you field a mask superstar die, each of your active Asuka superstar dice get +1/+1. Well, friends, it's going to come down to this. First, are there other good mask characters in this box? I imagine there are. We're on the second character, Secondly, how big do you want her to get? I mean, even at 1+1/+1 on level 3, she's a 5/5. That's pretty sick. Pretty sick. I can see people tinkering with this for sure. Masks have been strong since forever in Dice Masters. So I imagine it'll get some play. Becky Lynch, lots of hype around this card already. Lots of hype around this card already. Let's see if we can get it. And let's see if I have the right one. Oh, this is the one. 5 cost Shield. Becky Lynch. Which, let me just look at her stat line real fast. I don't know if you guys can read that. But a 5/5, 7/7, 8/8. An 8/8 on a 5 cost. Value, folks. We're looking at value here. She also has Overcrush. Second ability. When fielded, re-roll up to 2 target superstar dice. From your field, from your field, or from your reserve is the way that I read this. Re-roll up to 2 target superstar dice. Yours or your opponent's. Each die that does not roll character face goes to the used pile. Becky Lynch deals 1 damage to your opponent for each die sent to the used pile this way. We have a when fielded 5 cost character with Overcrush and an 8/8 on level 3. Wow. Then you have targeted removal of 2 character dice with the, potential removal. And then it also deals damage. Some would like to call this a package deal, folks. It also has a global I haven't even got to yet. Global. Pay Shield. The first die you purchase this turn is added to your prep. Welcome to the team, Becky Lynch. Welcome to every team, Becky Lynch. This card is so good. It's an all-in-one package, and we haven't even seen the other ones yet. 4 cost Shield with just the global, same global, and Overcrush. So it takes out the middle removal piece. I, for one, think that 2 character removal or 2 character removal of my own, right? We were just talking about when fielded abilities. If you take her, re-roll your stuff, it goes to the used pile. You get to field them again at some point. The versatility and the bases that this card covers, the 5 cost covers, is ridiculous. The 4 cost with an 8/8 side is bonkers. Agreed. Let's see a new ability. When she attacks, choose an unpurchased, non-continuous basic action die and roll it. If it shows action face, use its effect immediately. Return the die to its card. 5 cost, when she attacks, essentially roll a basic action die. It just pales in comparison, right? It just pales in comparison to the first one. This one is fine. 5 cost is steep, but I know someone's going to abuse this. I mean, we've got Orbital Strike running around. We have Doom Lance running around. Of course, you can't use Doom Lance in the attack step, so somebody will figure it out. Put it in the comments, people. You already know you're brewing with this stuff. Bobby Heenan. He looks like an emotional fella. I think we could get along. 2 cost Mask. He doesn't even need a 2 cost discount. He's already super cheap. When fielded, target level 3 character die can't be blocked. When fielded, target level 3 can't be blocked. Ring of Winter Gold Dragon. I don't know. Seems good. When fielded, until the end of turn, for each die your opponent assigns to block, they lose 1 life. Now this, my friends, is a game-changing, Like, the way that you play the game fundamentally must change when this guy is fielded. The turn he's fielded, you lose 1 life for each blocker you'd like to assign. That's going to get cool. And on a 2 cost, nonetheless, I could see him fitting in on a lot of the aggro, weenie teams, fish slap grossness going around these days. You got to assign blockers, right? Underdog. So the underdog keyword is triggered if you are fielded and you have less characters than your opponent. When fielded, spin all of your superstar dice to level 3. You know what? That's not terrible. That's not terrible for a couple reasons. First reason, he's a 2 cost. 2 cost mask, pretty good. Mask energy, whether you roll this guy character face or not, pretty good. Secondly, spinning things has been recently reinvigorated with some recent sets like the Justice set and the Infinity War set, etc. So spinning things to level 3 is generally pretty good. I think it's okay. Again, 2 cost mask, you just can't go wrong, right? You would have to have a pretty terrible ability, common Kate Bishop, to be a cheap mask character and still do something wrong. Bret the Hitman Hart. Maybe I did get the box art image correct. I said Bret Hart. I'm pretty sure I was right. Here he is. He's a Bolt character. Overcrush. Just Overcrush. His stats 4-2, 5-3, 5-5. Now, I have a problem with you, Mr. Bret Hart. The biggest is you're a 5 cost. You have Overcrush. We've seen a 5 cost with Overcrush that is just strictly better. Just strictly better in almost every way. Bret Hart, I imagine I won't be playing you much. But maybe for some thematic teams. I don't know anything, sadly. Someone's going to scold me for this. I don't know anything about the affiliations. Probably should have looked at those before I started this up. But let's just move on. Bret Hart, when he attacks, he can only be blocked by 2 or more superstars. Now, that's cool. I like that ability a lot. I like blocker manipulation. I like, especially in this set where combat is generally going to be favored, right? So you're going to want to do some combat damage, and having to have 2 people block him is one way to do it. 4 cost Bolt. When one of your Bret Hart dice attacks with no other attackers, it gets +2/+2. So, to set the stage, on level 3, this guy attacks alone. He is a 7/7. Now, I happen to know that there is a keyword in one of the team packs called Tag Out, which is going to add another +2/+2. So, this guy, for a 4 cost and a little bit of planning, could be very large. He also only has 2 as a combined fielding cost for his 1, 2, 3 sides, which in this set is pretty good. We haven't mentioned yet the fielding costs, but I have noticed they're fairly high from the spoilers I've seen so far. Charlotte Flair. Woo! Nature Girl. I don't know if that's actually even part of her shtick, but I had to say it. When Charlotte Flair damages your opponent, gain 1 life. Seems fairly simple, pretty straightforward. She could see it. She could see it going. That's literally the subtext, Nature Girl. I didn't even know. I could see it happening. When she's active, when an opposing sidekick is fielded, she deals 1 damage to your opponent. Now, I know there are some tabaxi-craxy rogue teams with Instant War that would like a word with you, Charlotte Flair. There's lots of ways to encourage your opponent to field sidekicks. There's also a lot of good reasons to field sidekicks, especially out of your use pile these days. And if you're going to tax somebody, you might as well hit them where it hurts, right in the old life total. While Charlotte Flair is active, your sidekicks get +1/+1. We've seen this ability a lot. On a 4 cost is usually where it lands. But her stats for a 4 cost are better than maybe in the past. So nothing super new, but nothing really crusty and that you didn't want to see again, right? Pretty good ability all in all. Eddie Guerrero, rest in peace. You're next, my friend. Eddie G. I lie. If Eddie Guerrero, oh, by the way, 2 cost, oh, sorry, you guys can't even see it. 2 cost bolts. Again, on a 2 cost character, you just can't go that wrong. So let's see what you're bringing to the table, Mr. Eddie. Eddie Guerrero says, if Eddie Guerrero is KO'd by a sidekick, Return the KO'd die to the field zone at level 3. If he is KO'd by a sidekick. He has 2 defense on 2 of his sides. I don't see this happening a lot. But we already saw a card that says when fielded or something, give opposing sidekick +1 attack. So you could give a sidekick +1 attack. You could attack with Eddie, hope he gets knocked out. I don't know. He's going to be a blocker, right? And again, on some of these Fish Slap teams, sidekicks are becoming the weapon of choice. So I don't see this happening all the time, but matchup dependent, and depending on where the meta kind of shifts in the next 6 or 8 months, this card could be really good in terms of countering those aggro sidekick explosive board teams. Next one, tag out. Here we go. This is the keyword I was talking about. Tag out. After blockers are declared, you may prep this die. Move him from the attack zone to the prep zone to give target character die +2/+2. This happens after blockers are assigned. This is the equivalent of being that guy who waits until after blockers are assigned to like pump something that goes through, right? Like just usually you would pay, let's call it 2 fists per turn to give your unblocked character dice +2 attack, not even a defense stat. Eddie Guerrero is going to do that at a 2 cost with repeatability, right? He's going to the prep area. He's going to the prep area. He's going to be doing it every turn. Put him in prep, roll him next time, give something +2/+2. This is freaking rowdy. Tag out, I think on a 2 cost character, on a 2 cost character, tag out is bonkers. Next, Eddie Guerrero, I steal. When Eddie Guerrero attacks, move all energy dice from your opponent's reserve to the used pile. Now, I will say that there have been times in this game's meta where my opponent might have 4 or 5 energy in their reserve pool. There might be, at some point, a world champion that just creates so many energy on his opponent's turn that he could static field all of the attackers back. I'm saying this card is good. It has a place in the meta. The problem is you got to choose between these 2, right? Like if there's 2 good Eddie Guerreros, you can only play one, friends. But this one, again, depending on where the meta shifts in the next couple months, this card is going to be so good. And even as like a meme piece, you know, hey, I attack this, attack, and oh, would you look at that? You lose all your energy that you kept for globals and such on my turn. Seems pretty good. One issue, oh dear, I just noticed this though. One issue with this card is that it's when he attacks. So you have to press priority before that. So it's not really as bonkers as I thought. I still think it's going to be good. I'm going to give it a 4 stars out of 5. And his name is John Cena. John Cena, you can't see me. Look at him. He's about to really give this guy the business. 4 cost fist. All of his cards are 4 cost fist. Let's see what he brings to the table. More literally than ever. When John Cena attacks, you may deal 1 damage to target non-sidekick. If that damage KOs the target superstar, this die cannot be blocked. Now, friends, let's talk a little bit about this die. His fielding costs are atrocious. We've got ways around that. When he attacks, you don't even have to. That means if your opponent's field is empty, you don't have to deal 1 damage to your own stuff. However, you could if you wanted to. Look at this. Target non-sidekick. Any die. Yours or your opponent's. If it KOs it, he's unblockable. So you pair this with something like something that has 1 defense. This could be really gross. Maybe it's something like a Kate Bishop where you want to keep cycling that promo Kate Bishop dealing 3 damage, right? You get every benefit. Every benefit. John Cena, I like what you're doing here, friend. Call out. We've seen this word since Guardians. When superstar die attacks, target superstar die is the only die that may block this die. Pretty cool. Again, the stats are great for call out. I'll say the fielding costs are not great for call out. I will say call out in general is used to win advantageous engagements, right? The reason to use call out is so that your stuff dies, my stuff lives. which is really great for these fielding costs. However, we'll see. John Cena. Intimidate, we do like that. We do like Intimidate. Intimidate. And when John Cena is active, your superstar dice cannot be targeted by Intimidate. No. Nope. Sorry, John Cena. You had to have one bad one. I think this is just not the one. It has Intimidate on a 4 cost. We have 2 costs with Intimidate, and it prevents any of your dice from being intimidated. I don't see it happening for a 4 cost. There's more exciting things to me that we've already seen. And we're only halfway through. Kurt Angle. Speaking of old school cool, Kurt Angle, he is a shield character. He always costs 6. Let's see what he's got. When fielded, each player KOs all of their superstar die except 1. You cannot field any superstar dice this turn. Friends, this could be an enabler for a giant KO team, right? We've seen, the Nitro from back in the day. We've seen the Rocket Raccoon from back in the day. Just mass KOs. Mass KOs. We've also seen some cards recently that will bring back mass KOs, like the Thunderbird. This is gonna make it on somebody's mass KO team, because it's perfect. It also has a global. Pay double shield. Target die gains tag out. Friends, again, let's talk about tag out, because I don't know if you understand. Pay 2 shields. Attack with a character. Let's pretend it has a win attacks ability. It now has a win attacks ability, or even a win fielded ability. You get to gift it tag out with 2 energy. That 2 energy is turned into 4 total stats for a different die, and the die that you targeted goes to prep for next turn. Tag out it's going to be a stat booster and a ramp engine and shenanigans. The shenanigans will ensue, friends. I'm so excited. Kurt Angle, I love that you have this global, my friend. Another 6 cost shield. Your Kurt Angle superstar dice can't be targeted by your opponent's globals or actions. And then it has the same global. I'm not sold on this one. However, I don't know. The global's still good. Each of your Kurt Angle superstar dice can block up to 2 opposing character dice. He can block 2. He has 8 defense on his level 3. I'm into that. Is it good enough for a 6 cost? No, I don't think so. However, I appreciate what you're trying to do here. And when you really need value out of your blockers, he could be the guy. He could be the Bashi. Macho Man Randy Savage. Cream of the crop. Rise to the top. While Macho Man Randy Savage is active, once during your clear and draw step, you may send a sidekick die you've drawn to your use pile and draw a new die. On a 4 cost fist. Stat line, fairly average for a 4 cost. He does have good fielding costs, which is maybe opposed to the rest of the set. Thus far, send a sidekick to use and draw a new die. I can't really think of a time when I would need a while active ability to give me that. If that makes sense. Nah. Sorry, Randy. Let's see what your other cards bring. While he's active, whenever you draw and roll any number of dice outside of your clear and draw step, draw and roll 1 extra die. Now, Randy, we're talking, my friend. Anytime you roll any number of dice outside of clear and draw, you draw and roll an extra. Any time. Any freaking time. The stretch global. I'm just trying to think of heinous ways to abuse this card. So gross. Any time that's not your clear and draw step, when you roll dice, you roll an additional 1. It's wild. Does it say once? No, whenever. Whenever. Repeatability, folks. While Macho Man Randy Savage is active, players draw an extra die at the during their clear and draw step. Players, meaning symmetric effect. So not anything that I'm getting that you're not, but maybe I can utilize it better than you can. Who knows? I think bag management, draw 4, Draw 4 from clear and draw has been such a pattern for us Dice Masters players for so long that maybe drawing 5 per turn will help us realize some shenanigans down the road, if that makes sense. Like, let's say you get this guy out on turn 2, get him out on turn 3, whatever it is, and then like turn 7 you end up rolling like your whole bag again or something. Sort of like how, with bag management at this point, you can roll your whole bag on like turn 3. Anyway, Randy Savage, I imagine people are going to be dabbling. They're going to be dabbling with that. Let's see what we got next. We've got Mankind. Mankind with his little friend. I don't know his name because I'm uncultured. While Mankind is active, whenever your opponent preps 1 or more dice outside their clear and draw, you may prep. This is wild. This is wild because it is an equalizer card, right? Oh my god. He's also a 3 cost with 7 defense. 3 cost, 7 defense, 3 cost, 7 defense. Absolutely bonkers. I tipped my thing. Oh no. All right. Well, things have happened. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. Anytime my opponent preps a die, I get to prep a die. Why not? Why not? Each of your Mankind dice get +1 attack for each of your sidekicks in the field zone. We've seen something similar, sort of like the Dum Dum or the Sword Agent or something that counts sidekicks, really matters about sidekicks. The thing is, his attack is already so low. Like, in order to get him up to par for a 4 cost, you have to already have, let's call it 2 or 3 or 4 sidekicks in the field. I mean, stats are becoming more on the value trend, so gaining +1 on a 4 cost with 2 attack, I don't love that. Tag out. We know I'm a fan. I've been talking about it. Now, things that I like about this die, especially with tag out, first off, it's 3 costs. Second off, it's a mask. We love masks. And third, there's only 1 fielding on this whole card. 1 fielding cost. Also, there could be some shenanigans here with going unblocked, right? So you attack. Blockers are declared. This guy's going to go through. You could switch his attack and defense. Or, if your opponent does block this character, you can just say, nope, going to prep him, give my +2 to someone else. I think this is going to be cool. The stat line really warrants itself to the old Bizarro Global or Ant-Man Global from the past. This could be cool. I want to brew with that. And I'm a brewer, so not really a brewer. I'm a Timmy. Get wild. Ric Flair, the nature boy himself. 3 cost mask. Ric Flair must attack if able. Bad card. Next, 4 cost mask. Woo. He has tag out. As well as this bonkers global. Pay 4 generic. Target superstar. That means any character gets +4 attack. So this 4 cost can sustainably add 6 attack and 2 defense to any character that you'd like him to. That's bonkers. That global is absurd. It's only on this one card of his variants. It's only on this one, which happens to be the 4 cost. If it was on the 3 cost, absurd. 4 cost, deadly. We like deadly. If this, especially in a set where combat damage is sort of the way to go, deadly is good. If this superstar is KO'd at the end of turn, KO target opposing superstar die that did not attack or block. Now, cool things that can happen here. First off, you can KO your own stuff. You can KO any superstar die that didn't attack or block, meaning it could be mine or my opponent's stuff. That's wild. He also has deadly, so you're automatically going to kill the thing you blocked. So it's almost like Ric Flair is just blocker supreme. First off, he kills anything he blocks. Second off, if it gets KO'd, which seemingly this set, getting 3 damage to a blocker is fairly easy. You can KO something else that did not block or attack. I like that. I like it. Ronda Rousey. Rowdy. She's a fist character, 4 costs all the way across. She has fast. Now, in terms of this set, her stats are cheeks, right? Her stats are not up to snuff. In terms of old sets, those are reasonable 4 cost stats. Not this one. Fast is not going to be good, I don't think, in this set. I don't know, Impulse. We haven't seen Impulse in a minute. You may pay 1 generic to prep this die. Now, friends, there was an old die similar to this called Quicksilver, where with an Impulse ability, you could have that character in the field on your second turn. I think that's how that worked. Jeepers, I might have just opened a bag of worms. But this is wild. Pay 1 generic to prep this die. Wow. Now, the problem I don't like about this is that what do we see? Becky Lynch, Global, is pay shield, do the same thing, right? Now, I will say you could use the Becky Lynch Global for the first die you purchase, and then you could buy Ronda Rousey and prep her as well. Prep 2 characters on turn 1. I mean, not turn 1, but like the turn you buy them, you could prep both. That's pretty wild. I can see it happening. Somebody's going to do some shenanigans. When Ronda Rousey KOs an opposing superstar, that die's controller loses 1. 4 cost. 4 tops out at a 4 for her best attack. I don't love it. I mean, we'll roll with it. Don't get me wrong. We will roll with it, my friends, but I don't love it. Next, Sasha Banks. Her dice has the sweet little, sunglasses and whatnot. Oh, sorry. She is a 2-cost shield across the board. That's wild. While Sasha Banks is active, your superstar dice cost 1 less to field. For this set, in set especially, this is going to be great. Out of set, she's still a 2-cost shield, which we need more of those. Secondly, stat line for a 2-cost, up to a 3/3 is pretty good. Fielding costs aren't great, but you're going to want to try to keep her active anyway, right? I'd say decent. When fielded, the next superstar die you purchase costs 2 less. Friends, we have the Kree Captain Global on a stick in a when fielded. I think someone's going to abuse this. Someone is going to learn to abuse this card, and I cannot wait for it to happen. Show me the money. Infiltrate. We like Infiltrate on 2 costs. When KO'd, prep a die from your bag. Oh my gosh, this is wild. This is one of my favorite cards we've seen in the box so far. First off, 2 cost, Infiltrate. Great idea. Secondly, somebody doesn't want you to trigger your Infiltrate ability, so they block this girl. If they knock her out, prep a die from your bag. Now, she does have 3 defense all the way across, but we've seen some big stats out there. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. Regardless, 2 costs with Infiltrate have been historically pretty good. I'm excited about Sasha Banks. Who's next? Step right up. Shinsuke Nakamura. Got a little dust on there. I thought it was part of the picture. Yikes. He's a fist character. He has a 2, 3, and 4 cost version. The 2 cost. Pardon me. When fielded, you may KO target sidekick. When fielded, you may KO target sidekick. That's free ramp for you. That's removal against your opponent. It's pretty good. 2 cost fists have been pretty good. Also, look at the stat line here, folks. I realize you have to pay 1 to field them on every side. However, you're getting the value here out of the 4-2 side. Also, you get removal. Like, let's pair this with Guy Gardner or something silly like that and get wild. Maybe Foot Ninja? Who knows? These WWE characters with all of our favorite animated Marvel and DC friends. When Shinsuke Nakamura attacks, KO target opposing sidekick. Nope, not on a 3 costs. I don't love it. While he's active, whenever a superstar die is KO'd, its controller loses 1 life. While active, whenever any character die is KO'd, its controller, regardless of whether that's you or not, loses 1 life. I think inherently it's bad, but someone's going to be able to abuse this. I hate that he has a 1 defense on one side because then he could instantly die. You're the only one that loses life, and he goes to prep. Right? I'd love it for him to at least be able to stick around through a round of turns. Triple H is a shield character, 667. Let's see what big boy abilities do here. When fielded, name a non-sidekick die, replacing all previous choices. While Triple H is active, your opponent cannot purchase or field that die. Hello, Constantine. This ability has been proven very good, very oppressive. I mean, it used to be on a 2 cost, so that's different. However, anytime you can prevent fielding... Wait, am I thinking of the wrong dice? Opponent cannot purchase or field that die. This is the rare blob. Maybe. It's one of those two. Control cards. We've seen it happen. On a 6 cost, I'm unconvinced, but Triple H, I'd love for you to surprise me. The other 6 cost variant. While Triple H is active, at the beginning of each player's turn, that player loses 1 life. If your opponent has more life than you, they lose 2 instead at the beginning of their turn. Bad. Like, wouldn't I rather just use the 4 cost Harley Quinn that if there's another villain in the field with her, you gain 1, they lose 1? I don't know. 6 costs, that seems pretty bad. Here we go. Let's get wild. 7 costs with 2 abilities, Overcrush and Cleave. Cleave, for those that don't remember, the single other card in the game was Cleave. If this superstar die attacks and KOs his blocker, any blocker, deal half his damage rounded down to another target die your opponent controls. Is Cleave cool? Yes. Is Cleave good? Meh. That means maximum you're dealing 3 damage to an opposing die. There are a lot of, let's call it meta staples out there with 3 or less health. I don't think I'm reaching for a 7 cost to get rid of them, sadly. This one's going in the no bin for me. But surprise me, folks. Surprise me. Oh my gosh, and here we are, basic action time. Basic action time would say a moment of bliss. A moment of bliss. How? Let's just take a moment, folks. Okay, that's enough. Action. 3 cost. This turn, you may remove blocked attackers from combat before damage is dealt. Remove blocked attackers from combat before damage is dealt. So the only way this is good is if you play when attacked characters, right? With when attack abilities, you could also keep this die, and if you're getting less than advantageous trades in terms of combat damage, you play it. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Jerry Lawler, ringside announcer, the legend himself. All blocked and blocking superstars deal double damage. Everything deals double damage that's in combat. Global, pay fist. Target blocked or blocking superstar deals double damage. Use this ability only once per turn. Wow. So, I like the action. It's definitely very WWE, smack each other in the mouth sort of thing. And the global will have some uses, friends. Pretty excited about all that. Booker T is an announcer, it seems. I remember when he was wrestling, but I'm behind the times. All opposing character dice must block if able. You may declare blockers for your opponent, assigning 1 per attacker until all attackers have been assigned a blocker, and then assign the rest as you choose. So, all of the opponent's character dice must block, but you get to choose how they block. In this set, probably pretty strong. Outside of the set, I don't know. I'd really have to tinker with this. As a 4-cost action, I don't know that I could warrant it, but there are some action reducing purchase cost stuff. There is a global as well. Pay shield. Target superstar must block this turn. The old giant spider global. Pardon me. So we know the force block is really good. I can see it getting played just for that. But I want to see somebody give it a go for the action. Chair smash, because that's what we got. 4-cost action, again, continuous. Send this die to your use pile during your clear and draw step, or when another folding chair is played. Pause. The action is not called folding chair. I think we have maybe our one of our first erratas of the set. I imagine this is supposed to say when another... Let me just make sure folding chair is not in here before I make a real ass of myself. Nope. Chair smash. I imagine this card at one point was named folding chair. because it should say, or when another chair smash is played. Whenever you could use a global ability, send this die to the use pile, deal 3 to target attacker or blocker. And then, sort of like a thrown brick-esque, if the target is not KO'd, prep this die. So you could do it repeatedly. That's kind of cool. You can also use it whenever. So it's sort of like it reminds me of Cold Gun from the old Green Arrow Flash set. At a 4 cost, though, I don't know. It's going to be hard to say. We'll just have to see. It also doesn't deal 3 damage to anything. It has to be an attacker or a blocker. So that sort of limits some of its variability. I don't love it, but I could see myself giving it a go. Miz TV. Target a superstar die from each player's field zone and set them aside until the end of turn. No. Money in the Bank. I couldn't agree more. Choose a target attacker. If that attacker damages the opponent this turn, draw and roll 3 dice. If the attacker is unblocked and would go to the use pile, prep them instead. This is interesting. Why would I want to draw and roll 3 when my turn is essentially over, right? Attackers and blockers have already been assigned. I don't know. I don't get it. Somebody help me with this one. Put it in the comments. Page Manager. Each player may add one of their unpurchased dice to their bag. Now we're talking a little limited wish action. Ish. Limited-ish wish. Page Manager. Choose a die that you haven't bought yet and put it in your bag. However, your opponent gets to do the same. On a double burst, your opponent's die is sent to the use pile instead. So you could outrace your opponent to get this Gigantor dice out. At a 5 cost, though, I don't see that one really making a splash. Paul Heyman, Manager. Each player picks one of their dice in the field zone. Those dice deal each other damage equal to their cost. If any die is KO'd, that die's controller loses 1. Or on single burst, they lose 2. Or on double burst, they lose 3. You get to choose. Oh, each player picks their own. So there are ways that you can manipulate what's in your opponent's field. Obviously, you can manipulate what's in your own field. I think this is pretty cool. At a 3 cost, the potential to do 3 damage is pretty rad. Also, I have a sneaking suspicion that there is an action from the Waterdeep box called Wild Magic that loves double bursts. So how many double bursts? We've seen double bursts on 3 of these actions so far. Paul Heyman, no different. I think we're going to see a little bit of that. Pay Bolt, deal 1 damage to target character. You can use this ability only once per turn. So it's a magic missile that you can only use once. Because. The Kevin Owens Show. Swap a die in your use pile for one of your unpurchased dice that costs up to 2 more. Now, friends, I see one problem. When I read this card, I see one problem. Swap a die in your use pile for one of your unpurchased dice that costs up to 2 more. What about a sidekick? Can I swap a sidekick for a 3 cost? Probably not. It should probably say non-sidekick die in there. Now, how could we just break this? How could we break it? I'm sure someone's out there thinking about it already, so just let me know. Put it in the Discord, put it in the comments, whatever you like. Also on Burst Double Burst, draw and prep a die from your bag. Again, this is wild magic fuel right here. Also Morph from X-Men First Class. Lastly but not least, oh gosh, Walk with Elias. Secretly draw 1, 2, or 3 dice from your bag. If your opponent guesses the number of dice you drew, put them into your use pile. Otherwise, prep them. Also, Global, pay mask. Once per turn, on your turn, add 2 sidekick dice from your use pile to your prep area. So this is the Heimdall Global on an action, folks. On an action, finally we can ditch putting Heimdall on teams just for the Global. We can instead bring Walk with Elias, which is weird. It's weird. If you thought relaxing was a weird basic action, Walk with Elias I think is even weirder. There's a lot of mind games that could go on here. let's say you draw 3 dice and you want your opponent, like, I wonder what the math is for, like, always choose 3. You know what I mean? If in the end, is your value higher? I don't know. I just don't know, folks. But that was the campaign box. WWE Dice Masters. Wow, it's going to be awesome. I'm pretty pumped about this set. It drops tomorrow, February the 5th of 2020. It's going to be at your store, in theory. Go get it. Scoop it up. These cards look mega fun. Within just this box, I think I could have a blast. Outside of this box, in the larger meta, I think a lot of splash pieces in here. So get yourself a box. We're also going to open the team packs. So if you're finished with this video and you got another couple minutes, throw on the next one. The tag, what are the team packs called? Tag Teams team pack and the Bitter Rivals team pack are coming shortly, folks. Until next time, it's Ross from the Weekly Dice Arena. Thanks to Wizkids for these sample products. Go get you some, folks. It's going to be great. Peace.